Do we have to redo it?
No.
I just shout out to all of my colleagues that are out there working hard every day.
Hi, my name is Pamela Wilson.
My name is Marsha Manning.
Marjorie Fields-Harris.
Nicola Ohaegbu.
And my background is I worked in human resources, workforce development, and also diversity, equity, and inclusion. DOE was one of the standouts in the environmental agency that promoted, supported, and elevated DEI in their work. Also having a passion for people and helping to elevate people.
After about 22 years in the U.S. Army, I retired and I came on with the department. My inquisitive nature is what drew me towards the investigative realm.
I have had an extensive background in social justice, especially in the front lines of police brutality, economic justice, addressing the needs of the millions of people who are unbanked and underbanked across the country. And just realizing that one continuum that has always been there, and that's energy justice, and that's the fact that everyone pays an energy bill. And when you start addressing a lot of the systemic problems in communities of color, it's not just poverty, it's the fact that they can't get around the fact that there's certain bills that they have to pay. And, our ability here in the federal government to address programs that will kind of equalize and give relief to some of these burdened communities.
Currently a senior small business advocate. I've been employed with the OSDBU since March of 2016. One of the top skills one would need is technical competency. You should be knowledgeable of the rules and regulations that govern the small business program, and also some of the rules and regulations that governs government contracting. Yes, I remember we were working on a contract. It was geared for the military, the soldiers in the field, and it was converting water in whichever environment they found themselves. And most times it's not drinkable water. And with his technology, he was able to create clean, drinkable water. So, it's very empowering, and you feel as if you achieved something when they succeed.
Top 3 skills would be communication, collaboration, critical thinking. We do collaborate across the agency. We work really closely with FEMA and then private sector. So we really thrive on building unity and building mutual respect across the sector.
Sociability, because you have to like people. I always say that in every role, I'm a servant of the people. The next thing is versatility. Versatile enough to move from communications to dealing with issues on the Hill, and then possibly dealing with stakeholders.
I have come to find out that it's listening, communicating, and patience. Listening is because you're talking to people, you're interacting with people. You want to make sure you're taking in what they're telling you, because that's what's going to make you great at what you do. Communication is the back end of listening. You want to make sure that we are getting our points across to audiences that may not know what DEI is or understand or care about it. DEI isn't just for a specific minority group, it's for everybody. 3
skills for an investigator would be the ability to communicate both orally and in writing, because a lot of your interviews are done orally. Critical thinking, and I would say attention to detail is a major component within the investigative field.
I would like to speak to people who have graduated from law school who may not necessarily want to practice law. I've been on both sides of it, but still having what I like to say is the JD advantage. That's like having the law degree but not necessarily practicing. Federal government is really a great opportunity, a great place for you to start.
For another small business professional coming into the field, I would say, apart from the current courses or the track for your credential, take some of the contract series classes. As I mentioned before, the more knowledgeable you are about the federal acquisition regulation, in addition to the Department of Energy acquisition regulation, the more credible you are to the contracting community?
It would be to expose yourself to as much as you possibly can. The only way to truly appreciate the work that we're doing is to be around those, to live it, to experience it. The work that we do is people-centered and it's people-focused. If we want to elevate others, we need to know exactly how those individuals operate.
Find a mentor within the investigative realm. Try to follow their pathway, listen to some of the guidance that they have to provide. Take advantage of any training and advanced schooling opportunities so that you can kind of specialize in your craft, whether it's forensics, interviews, crime scenes. Those type of things are really, really important. Cyber is really up and coming.
My advice would be to really follow your heart. There are a lot of really important things that are happening right now, in the U.S. and across the world. And if federal service is a great way to have an impact on those things. We have amazing people that work for the federal government, specifically at the Department of Energy.
My 10th grade algebra teacher, she told me to do it right the first time so you don't have to do it again.
Actually, I want to shout out my father, James Jones, an abstract artist and sculptor out of the New River Valley in Virginia.
Prince recently visited Paisley Park, and I got to see exactly how humble of a person he was, and he also pushed the envelope with his style and his music.
I would just like to shout out those artists who are really speaking truth to power right now. Taraji P. Henson, who's calling out the fact that she's had her struggles.
I have to say, I'm Jamaican by birth. So the legendary, the one and only Bob Marley, he had a message through his songs about unity, about love, about oppression.
I would like to shout out Misty Copeland, who is the first African American prima ballerina. She's an expert in her craft, and she is comfortable in her brown skin and is an advocate for young ladies doing the very best that they can.